Monday night in the QC, NFL football returns to the bank. For the first time in nearly 5 years, Monday Night Football will feature your black and blue. And it's another critical division matchup. This time, the Saints come marching in. Can Carolina get its first win of the season, or will New Orleans put the Cats in a deep divisional hole? We break it down right now on Black and Blue Kickoff Live.
Well, here it is. The stands are filling in, the fans are hyped up, and it is time to break open the Panthers' 2023 season inside Bank of America Stadium. And no love lost here, folks. It's Saints and Panthers, and we are just 45 minutes away from kickoff. Welcome into a very special Monday night edition of Black and Blue Kickoff Live. I'm Carla Gebhardt. This is Gabe McDonald. And Gabe, listen, it doesn't get any bigger than this. You got Monday Night Football, prime time, a divisional rival, and the home opener.
Hey, this is what you live for. The excitement is real in the bank, and we are just as hyped tonight on Black and Blue Kickoff Live. So much so that we're going to bring you an exclusive interview with a man who is already making an impact here in Carolina. That is top wide receiver Adam Thielen. And not to quote the great poet Waka Flocka, but it's a party, it's a party, it's a party. Hey, we got 10-year NFL vet and our BBKL analyst Al Wallace in the house joining us as well.
That's right, and of course Grace Grill is down on the field. She's going to be bringing us the latest from the field, and of course Tara Lane has our game day forecast. But listen, we got to talk more about this game because it's a big one, and it doesn't get any bigger than this in week 2. And it's really, Gabe, I'd say this is a tale of two cities who started really out in two different ways. The Saints got away with one against the Titans, while the Panthers played one half of football. They got smacked in the second, but Carolina knows it cannot go in the hole twice against divisional opponents, and that's why a lot of focus has been put on to rookie Bryce Young's development, along with the reimagined offensive line. Carolina's defense is looking to get some help and not be on the field the entire time so they can continue that first half dominance. Frank Reich and company have a plan for its first Monday night game, though, and it's the first one since 2018.
Yeah, it's another game for us. Yeah, whenever it's played on Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day it is, it's another game for us. We're approaching it like that. The field's the same size regardless of what night or what prime time or whatever it is. So we go out there and prepare this week and get ready to go and strap it up on Monday.
That when you play on Monday night, it's a long wait until Monday night. So don't get too amped up too early. Just be patient because it's a long wait. And yeah, my first NFL start was on a Monday night. So still very good memories of Monday Night Football for me personally.
Let's break down some of the stats after week 1. The Saints were missing Kamara in week 1 against Tennessee, and it certainly showed. Only 69 yards rushing with an average of about 2.6 per carry. The Panthers, meanwhile, had better ground success against the Falcons, racking up 154 yards last week. Now, the Saints do get it done in the air, so look for Derek Carr to continue to air it out tonight to his main weapons. Now, the Saints' defensive unit didn't give up a touchdown at all last week, while the Panthers surrendered most of their points as the game wore on in the second half down in Atlanta.
All right, so now we have to bring in a person that does not like the Saints, but he is a Saint by our book. It is Mr. Al Wallace, 10-year NFL vet. And Al, we had the week 1 game against Atlanta. A lot of hate there, but it's the New Orleans Saints, and there's even just maybe a little bit more hate when it comes to this divisional rival.
Yeah, the Panthers have played this team the most in their history, so I think you look at it as a back-to-back divisional games. These guys are going to go out here, the big stage, the big lights. Everybody's watching around the world, around the country. They got to get this one tonight.
You mentioned everybody watching, just prime time. You played in the league for a decade. You know how much these games mean. How do you see this team really coming out with it on their mind tonight, just knowing that the lights are shining brighter and everybody in the country's watching?
Well, you have to be disappointed from the performance last week, so that's motivation to come out, correct those mistakes. Make sure you go out and defeat a team right here that is right for the picking. I think the Saints did not look good in week 1. They got to win, but the Panthers need to come out and look a whole lot better.
And speaking of looking a lot better, let's get into why you are one of the best segments in the country. You got obviously your keys to the game. Obviously, this one first continues our discussion on Bryce Young. It's not so much about him throwing, but protecting him. You got 2 new guys on the offensive line. Cade Mays, Chandler Zavallo got the start last week. They really got to get it done against this veteran defensive front by the Saints.
Absolutely. You got to protect QB1. I know there's some missing pieces. Everyone's not in this lineup, but if Bryce is going to go out, correct the mistakes that we saw from a week ago. He has to have protection. He has to have a clean, safe pocket in order to process, operate, and complete passes down the field.
Not only that, but you want to see them maybe stretch the field, open up the playbook a little bit. We saw Bryce Young take 2 deep shots downfield. They were incomplete, a little overthrown, but you want to see more of that, more of the chance taking.
Yeah, he's a great decision maker, so you don't have to worry about him necessarily making a bad decision to throw it down the field. But what you want to see this guy is throw it outside the numbers and throw it down the field. You got DJ Chark back in this lineup. I think he stretches things. He opens it up a little bit. The more you throw it down the field, the better you're going to have opportunities to find holes in the running game. Protect that offensive line that has a couple of new pieces.
And we got to go to your side of the ball for the third and final key. We got to dial up the blitz. We saw Brian Burns come out and dominate the first quarter and most of the game as well, Frankie Louvu, but you got to be able to get to Derek Carr because the secondary, obviously missing J.C. Horn, you don't want the defensive backs, just worrying about that too much.
That's right. I'm a defensive guy. It's hunting season, and if you want to hunt down Derek Carr, you got to bring some pressure. Brian Burns was a one-man show last week. Derek Brown did a good job. Frankie Louvu added some spikes in there, but if you want to take some of these pressures off of Brian Burns, you're going to have to bring the heat a little bit, give him an opportunity to rush one-on-one.
And, of course, we're seeing Bryce Young a warm-up there, getting ready for tonight's game. We're asking a lot about Bryce Young, though, and what he's got to get done tonight. Of course, that also starts with the offensive line up front. And, Grace Grill, you have more for us tonight on the O-line and all the changes that they've experienced this week.
Yeah, guys, well, you just heard Al talk about it. If the Panthers are going to be successful this season, they have got to be able to protect Bryce Young, and that all starts on this O-line, and he is already this season out with one of his bodyguards. Brady Christensen was placed on the injured reserve this week and is done for the season. Christensen suffered a bicep injury late in Sunday's loss to the Atlanta Falcons. So now the Panthers are without 2 starters on the inside to protect rookie quarterback Bryce Young, with Austin Corbett still out. Fellow rookie Chandler Zavala is already starting at right guard, and now Carolina has yet another hole to fill.
It's business, you lose people. Like I said last year, we were very fortunate. That doesn't happen very often. So, for Brady to go down, it's definitely tough for our room. But, we got guys that are going to step up and really answer the call.
We're going to work a couple different combinations. We're going to have really 3 different players. We've talked a lot about it, obviously, in the last 48 hours. We'll have 3 different players work through there. We'll make a decision by the end of Thursday. Cade Mays, Nash, and Justin McCray.
He's done a great job of making sure that we're prepared. We're all prepared no matter what situation happens, what guy goes down, people to step up and really be able to play.
All right, so who's going to step in the trenches for the Panthers? Chandler Zavala started at right guard against Atlanta, but played on the left side with Ike Ekwonu most of his college career. Obviously, Nash Jensen is listed as the second-string left guard behind Christensen, but breaking news right here, he's inactive tonight. So we could see some different combination for Coach Reich and the Panthers, including Justin McCray. So some big shoes to fill on that O-line, but here is a stat that will give Panthers fans some hope. Is since 2021 that the Saints and Panthers have been playing, the Panthers have been able to hold the Saints to just 11.5 points per game. So this might be one of those games where we need the defense to step up like they have the past couple of years, guys.
Thanks, Grace. Yeah, a lot of rotation on the offensive line. Hopefully they can hold up. But listen, we got a lot more to get to on Black and Blue Kickoff Live. We've got all the exclusive interviews that you want to see right here, including this one.
I have a lot of confidence in our room. A lot of guys that can play football at a high level and maybe are a little underrated or people don't really give a whole lot of credit to.
Don't count the wide receiver room out in Carolina. What newcomer and captain Adam Thielen thinks about the potential of the group. That's in my one-on-one next.
And the man who's supposed to be Bryce Young's #1 target didn't play in Atlanta, but he is back on the field tonight. We're charting it downfield in just a bit on BBKL.
And we got a live look at the teams continue to warm up here at the bank. We got Deshaun Williams. We got all these guys, Grugier Hill. We got much more Black and Blue Kickoff Live next.
Well, just over half an hour until the first kickoff inside Bank of America Stadium this season. Saints and Panthers on Monday Night Football. Everybody is revved up for this one, but not everybody will take the field. Luckily, just 2 players listed for the Panthers. DJ Chark, who has been dealing with a hamstring injury. He was a full participant in practice Saturday and is expected to play tonight and make his Panthers debut. Taylor Moton, the second name, another member of the Panthers O-line with a bicep injury, but not as severe. Moton also took it easier in practice this week, but was a full participant Saturday and expected to be ready to go as well. Also, another note to add is that the Panthers just releasing their inactives tonight. On that list is Nash Jensen, which means that Justin McCray will be active, so we'll expect him to take some snaps tonight. Also, corner Sam Webb, he just signed with the Panthers. He will not play tonight, and neither will Raheem Blackshear. Now, he takes kicks for the Panthers, so we're also expecting Laviska Shenault to take a couple kicks for the Panthers tonight as well. And with that, I'll kick it back up to you guys.
Hey, appreciate it, Grayson. Al, you're a guy that played 10 years in the league with a lot of great players, great leaders. What's it say about a player to be in his first year with the new team, and he's already named a captain?
It says a lot because that means the team trusts you. You've done everything you're supposed to do on and off the field.
Yeah, and Adam Thielen, of course, new to Carolina, but he's in his 10th year in the league, but he's already making a huge impact, and that's certainly something that I picked up on when I talked to him in the locker room earlier this week. So you get to Carolina and you're voted captain right away by your teammates. What does that mean to you to be accepted so early here with the Panthers?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're voted captain, obviously it's a great honor, and it's an honor that I don't take lightly, and no one does. You know, when you're voted as a captain, you know that you have a higher responsibility to be at your best and to kind of, you know, handle things the right way. But I think when you're in a new place and you've been in one place for so long and then you go to a new place, there's just something a little extra special when you're voted by your teammates as a captain.
You mentioned that you were in one place for so long. Obviously, you're talking about the Minnesota Vikings, but this is your first time playing for a team outside of the state of Minnesota, right?
Right.
Is that weird for you, like to be so far from home?
Yeah, definitely is different, but in a good way. I almost feel like I'm a rookie again and just like a whole new fresh start, like I'm coming out of college. So it's been really cool, and again, that's credit to the guys in that locker room, coaches, players, of just kind of from day one I felt it, just accepted, and you know, the excitement around this team and the city, and then having my family here with me has been really awesome.
What's your first memory of the Carolina Panthers when you think back to maybe being younger and in the NFL and just thinking about who the Panthers were?
Well, my first memory is I got a phone call from the Carolina Panthers after the draft, and they offered me to come to rookie camp. So it was the Vikings the first week of rookie camp, and then I was supposed to come to the Carolina Panthers the second weekend. So that's my first memory. I ended up signing with the Vikings, obviously, and was there for 10 years. But and then my next memory was my first touchdown was against the Carolina Panthers. So block punt for a touchdown. So there's some kind of crazy things that when I was going through the free agency process and this became like a real option, that just kind of felt like I was being led to come here.
Yeah, and you're certainly here now and a part of this wide receiver room. How would you describe the guys in that room right now?
Yeah, I think you know, we have a great group. You know, guys that just want to be great, but we also like to have fun. So there's a lot of personality, which there always is in a receiver room.
Right.
But I have a lot of confidence in our room and what we can do together as a group. A lot of guys that can play football at a high level and maybe are a little underrated or people don't really give a whole lot of credit to, but I see it every single day in practice, and you know, we'll see it in games here soon.
Who gets picked on the most in the group?
Well, it usually goes back and forth between DJ and Laviska. They have a little history together back in Jacksonville,
Okay.
So they're usually getting after each other a little bit, and then if you chime in at all, then watch out, because then they're going to both attack you. So
Do you stay quiet in those moments?
No. That's not my natural
Okay.
tendency. My natural tendency is to fit right in, and then I usually get you know, they both kind of team up on me, which is always fun.
Bryce Young being a rookie quarterback, the first overall pick in the draft, he's under a microscope this season, right? I mean, everybody's looking to him, and certainly some good things from him against the Falcons. What did you say, or did you say anything to him after week one and after that loss?
Yeah, I actually said it before the game to him, and then again I reiterated it after the game of, you know, I don't know how many guys that I would have that much confidence in going into week one as a rookie. I just wanted him to know how much confidence I had in him, not only in his ability, but his, you know, just for him to lead us, you know. Usually as a quarterback, people look to you as a leader and to lead us and to help us win games. And I just wanted him to know that I've been around a lot of quarterbacks and I have a lot of trust and confidence in his game. And not only did I say that before the game, but I reiterated after the game of how much confidence I have in him, that he's the right person for this job and he's the right person to be here for a long time and have a lot of success. So I'm excited to get back to work.
And, of course, Thielen had 2 receptions for 12 yards out in the game against the Falcons. Want to hear more from him. But if you're looking at a wide receiver that could truly impact this game, it's got to be DJ Chark, who is now active for this game.
Yeah, it's a good sign that Chark is back. He's a tall, rangy, speedy wide receiver, and they're going to depend on him to stretch this field a little bit. So a really good sign that he's going to get out there and open things up for Bryce Young.
And how important is it to have a guy like that can really take the top off the defense? Because last week we saw Hayden Hurst be that security blanket for Bryce Young, but you really want to be able to stretch the field vertically, especially against the secondary.
You can't allow defenses, especially safeties, and we saw Jesse Bates last week creep down into the box. So when you have a speed guy, they have to stay back in coverage, and that's going to be a key tonight.
How many long shots do you think they're actually going to take tonight?
I think you pick your spots, right? You check it down, you take what the defense gives you, but if it's there, you can't be afraid to let Bryce Young let it go.
Yeah, certainly we hope to see that from Bryce Young. But one thing we heard about in the locker room all week long was the phrase Bryce in bunches. Let the kid loose. We saw shades of promise in week 1, but there's something that we're still waiting to see. You can find out what that is coming up.
And another live look at the bank. The teams have scattered off the field for last-second instructions in their locker rooms, and things are about to get loud here at BOA. We got more Black and Blue Kickoff Live in just 3 minutes.
Well, we are inching closer and closer to kickoff Monday Night Football here at Bank of America Stadium. A big-time matchup between NFC South divisional foes, the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. And guys, remember that tonight at 11, Charlotte Sports Live is your Panthers post-game headquarters. We're going to take head coach Frank Reich and Bryce Young live from the podium, plus on-field interviews with your favorite players as they walk off the field. CSL tonight at 11, only on Queen City News. And guys, this is you could feel the energy from Charlotte driving into the stadium today. Fans starting to make their way in. But let me tell you about the guys that were on this field. I'm sure they have heard the chatter after that week 1 performance. And this was a team that should be excited about playing here, opening up their home season at the bank. But there was a determination in warm-ups that they know what's been said about them, what's been talking in the media and everything. And they look like a group determined tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Grace. And, of course, that hype is going to be very real in the primetime spotlight as the Panthers take the field. And if you're looking for a win, it all starts with Bryce Young, right? To get back to 500, he's got to turn the page pretty quickly tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That NFL debut, it was a learning experience, but Frank Reich said last week that it did have more upside than anything. We spoke to Bryce Young again earlier this week, and he talked about being back in the national spotlight and also proving why Carolina can win this game. The first overall pick said now that he's in a weekly routine being in the league, it's all about staying on the things that are the most important, and that's blocking out the little things.
I think you have to manage, what you're going to pay attention to, what you're going to go into the game with, what you're going to expect and react to, and things like that. And then also have a good manage of making sure that you're not trying to account for every little thing, because, again, they're a great defense. They have, great players and great coaches that there's going to be stuff we have to react to, and we're not going to be able to account for everything. So I think, still trying to take advantage of the extra day, but still not go too far down a rabbit hole and keep that healthy balance.
In his debut last week, Bryce was 20 for 38. He did find the end zone connecting with Hayden Hurst for his first career touchdown. He also had 146 yards in the air, but he had 2 picks, both of them to Falcon safety Jesse Bates. Now, those picks led to 10 points in total for Carolina on the other end, and that's a big thing tonight, not being able to give the Saints short fields, because that's, you got to be able to make them drive the field on you, not 30-yard drives coming off a turnover, make them win the game by driving the field. And Bryce Young, I think he's going to learn from those mistakes and bounce back tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you need to see from him tonight, Al?
I just need to see him be himself. I mean, he is so smart. He is so poised. And he just needs to go out there and operate like we know that he can. He had 2 mistakes, but anybody else in the league, you would be concerned about him. I think he learns from that. I think he gets better tonight.
Not only that, Al, but I just remember the offense in the past couple of years. We couldn't buy a first down. We couldn't flip the field. We couldn't move the ball, and we did at least see that in that week 1 matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. I think special teams did a great job. And then you look at this defense with Brian Burns coming out so hot. You got to create some turnovers. And Bryce in the offense, the running game, the offensive line, they'll take care of itself.
Yeah, I think we'll see a lot more balance tonight, being able to have the running game going. Chuba Hubbard and Miles Sanders both looked good last week. I know you got some new guys up front, but if they're more balanced, it's definitely going to bode well for the team.
That's right. All right. Well, we've said it once and we'll say it again, but the NFL and the stage and the lights, it does not get bigger than Monday Night Football. We're in the final countdown. Carolina is ready. The question now is, can the Panthers get its first win of the Reich era? And Tara, how about that kickoff forecast?
Guys, do you have that feeling, that fall football feeling? Because that's how it feels out there tonight. We're still at a comfortably warm 79 degrees, nice and dry, lingering sunshine. How chilly it's going to feel by the end of the game, and if it will stay totally dry. That's next.
And the parachutes have landed, so you know kickoff is real soon, and it's a picture-perfect night in Charlotte. And Panthers fans, we want the dub, but we also want to stay dry. Tara, give us some good news.
Oh, yes. Happy to report that it will stay dry all throughout the game, even those scattered clouds that we had earlier are clearing out, not a drop of rain in sight showing up on radar. And we still have that comfortably warm 79 degrees. The humidity has been swept out behind yesterday's rain and that higher humidity at kickoff. Temperatures starting to back off into the mid and upper 70s. The wind will not be an issue getting in the way of the kicking game or anything like that. Settling down out of the northwest about 5 to 12 miles an hour. And by the end of the game, we will be cooling things back down into the mid and upper 60s. So, yeah, nice and refreshing feeling out there. Certainly feels like fall football weather.
All right, thanks so much, Tara and Al. I mean, you start hearing the fans behind us, the fall-like weather. It does feel like fall football, and it's the home opener. What are these players feeling right now as they're getting ready to take the field?
They're excited. It's a divisional game. It's on TV. Everybody around the NFL is watching. They cannot wait to take the field. The excitement, the heartbeat, the adrenaline is pumping.
Are you taking the ball first if you win the toss, or do you want to prove a point and go set the tone?
I'm a defensive player. Let's get defense out there. Let's pound somebody.
Yeah.
Let's get to Derek Carr.
What do you need to see from the offense? I know we've kind of touched on it a little bit this whole show, but you got Bryce Young. He's going to get back out there again. What do you need to see from him?
I need to see identity. I need to see that line of scrimmage move. I need to see the rushing attack get going early tonight.
All right, identity for the Carolina Panthers. That's going to do it for us on BBKL. We got Monday Night Football coming up. Don't forget CSL at 11 with a post-game wrap. Until then, go Panthers.